Hi, welcome. We are the Green Gurus, and this is our beginner composting kit. I am Victoria Fierro.
My name is Jenna Mendez.
My name is Karina Ortiz.
And I'm Belisa Marquez.
We are from Young Women's Leadership Academy at the Ysleta Independent School District.
We chose to address the problem of food waste through our two-part project, which consists of our beeswax wraps and our composting kit. The purpose of our beeswax wraps is to encourage students to transport their organic waste from school to their home in an eco-friendly way. We decided to do this project to come up with a solution of food waste at our school while creating a way to help people in our area combat common deficiencies in our soil, such as potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen.
So some of the background research that we did, we found that almost 40% of the United States food goes wasted and ends up in landfills. And we found this pyramid, which is called the Food Recovery Hierarchy Pyramid, and it shows composting and landfills at the very bottom. The three most important nutrients to the growth of plants are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And these are some of the things that we found that were good to go in compost to combat them. And then these are the benefits of beeswax, which leads us into the second part of our project.
And how can we make learning about composting more accessible to students in order to promote using composting materials found at school in their homes?
So first up is the reusable composting bag. And so we created 3 different prototypes of our designs, which we'll show you really quick. So first is the wrap, second is the lunch sack, and third is the clasping pouch. And we had initially hypothesized that the pouch would be the most efficient method of transporting food scraps back and forth. And so these are our variables, and we utilized the scientific method in order to test to see which of the materials would be the most efficient. So these are the materials that we used. And in order to create the bags, we first brainstormed the prototypes and we came up with some sketches. And then we found some fabric scraps that were lying around our school and we cut out the designs and sewed them together. We then melted beeswax on a hot plate and used a paintbrush to evenly apply a layer to the surface of each of the bags. And we then let it dry for at least 24 hours. So we then created a table in order to test our results, and we used the values of 5, 10, and 15 milliliters of water to see which of the bags would retain the most. What we found was that the clasping pouch had the highest percentage of efficiency each time that we tested.
And our margin of error was because our wraps and bags were coated by hand, and an uneven amount of beeswax was put on different parts of the bags. This could have affected the durability as well as the results, since each of the bags required a different amount of beeswax in order for them to be completely covered. During testing, this resulted in leaking, especially at the seams, and slightly skewed our results.
So the way that we would have fixed this would have been by coating the fabric before sewing it, how we did. And then we would have coated it evenly, which was one of our mistakes.
So these are some of our photos from our trials and the process of making our bags.
Next is our DIY composting kit. So we wanted to take this a step further, and so we compiled this kit that we can send home with students to let them get involved in making compost.
So this is our composting kit. We have a little cardboard box here with soil that the students can use, as well as soil testing kits, which are for potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And they could put this underground so they can make their own compost at home.
So these are our information cards, which are also included in our composting kit. These show how to identify and solve different deficiencies in our soil and instructions as to how to start their own compost at home.
So the impact that we found was it was going to help eliminate some of the agricultural illiteracy that we find, especially in the youth of our society. By getting them involved in creating compost and interested in reducing waste, we're able to improve soil health and be more eco-friendly. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation.